everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the books that I read in May. I read a total of 7 books, which is kind of disappointing compared to last month, but I'm still pretty happy with it because I did have like a 4-day camp, I had nap plan, and I had a few assessments due, so I reckon I did pretty good. I also had a book that I was planning on finishing that I really didn't like, and I'm still trying to finish it, but I'm going to keep going because I want to review it. But if you follow me on Instagram, you already know what it is. But yeah, so I just want to get into the books because I read some really good books this month that I want to talk about, so let's just get started. So the first book I read in the month of May was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas. I definitely enjoyed it more than I did the first time. I feel like having read the whole series, I appreciate the first book more. If you've read it, like, you know what I'm talking about, but I loved it so much. 5 stars, like more than the first time. I enjoyed the whole thing, and I'm excited to finish my reread next month because this series is so good and I really recommend it. So yeah, so obviously I gave this one 5 stars. I even wrote a review and everything, like it's really fancy. But that was book number 1. So if you don't know, A Court of Thorns and Roses follows 19-year-old Feyre, who in the magical world of Prythian, where there is a wall dividing the humans and the fairies. So one day Feyre kills a fairy who crosses the border, and in return she must spend the rest of her life in fairy, and it is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and it's really good. I talk about it like every single video, and if you can't tell by my mild obsession. So the next book I read was Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Prior to this I had never read a V.E. Schwab book, but she was in Australia recently and just everyone was meeting her, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. So I read this book and I really enjoyed it. I think I ended up giving it 4.5 stars because I just had like some problems with one of the characters, but other than that I really loved it. My favourite character was, what's her name? So my favourite character was Sydney, 100%. I really love Victor and Serena as well. I just really didn't like Eli. I didn't really sympathise with him, but apart from that I really did love it. I definitely want to continue the series, but knowing me I probably won't pick up the next book for like a year or 2, but we'll get there eventually. I'm just really glad that I finally read a V.E. Schwab book, and I'm planning on reading the Dark Shade of Magic series and Our Dark Duet, or is it called The Savage Song? I think it's The Savage Song. I'm like really behind on V.E. Schwab. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. It was a really good introduction into her writing because I really love the writing style and the way it was told, and I would definitely recommend it. So Vicious follows Victor and Eli in 2 parts of their lives. One where they are best friends in college and discover that they can unlock superpowers by dying, and then 10 years later when they are arch nemesis. Is that the word? I don't know if that's English. Yeah, it's really good, a really interesting concept. I don't read a lot of sci-fi. This is technically sci-fi, but it's more like modern sci-fi, and it was really good, and I definitely will be reading more V.E. Schwab books in the future. Also, I just want to support my fellow Victorias because we are a dying breed. So the next book I read was The Raven Voice by Maggie Stiefvater because every single person alive ever has read it and I haven't. I really liked it. I ended up giving it 4 stars, so it wasn't like my favourite book ever. I have been told the series just gets better as it goes along, and I've already got The Dream Thieves. It was so good. It was really different to anything I'd ever read before. So this is a magical realism book that follows Blue, who is the daughter of a psychic, and then 4... how many boys are there? I think there are 4 Raven boys who like go to this like elite school, and they sort of team up to try to solve some magical mysteries or whatever. And it was really good. I picked it up because Paper Fury on Bookstagram raves about it, and I really wanted to give it a try, and it was... I ended up really liking it, and I will be continuing the series. It wasn't the perfect first book for me. I did find some bits a little bit boring, but apart from that I really loved it. So yeah, 4 stars, and I will be continuing this one next month. So the next book I read was book 5 in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, and that is The Battle of the Labyrinth by Rick Riordan. But yes, this was book 5 in Percy Jackson. It's probably my second favourite. Lightning Thief will always be my favourite, but I really loved this one. It was so good. I gave it, I think, 4.5 stars. I don't know, I'm just super interested in Greek mythology, and that's why I love this series so much, and I just really love Percy as a character. I just love him, and I love Annabeth. And this series is a middle grade series that follows Percy Jackson, who is the son of Poseidon, and it is so good. I would really recommend it. I don't know why I waited like years and years to start this series, but I have 1 book left. We're getting there. So the next book I read was Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is my first time ever reading an Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff book, and I loved it so much. I did not expect that I would. This has been on my shelf since like it first came out in 2015 and I just never read it. Like I bought it like the week it came out, and now that I finally have, I've been missing out. This series, well, I haven't read the rest, so this book is just so wonderful. It's definitely opened me up to more sci-fi reads because I don't really read sci-fi, but I really loved it. I like couldn't stop reading it, and I'm so excited to continue with Gemina, hopefully next month if I actually end up buying it. But I really loved it. So this series follows Katie and Ezra, and their planet is destroyed, and it's basically the aftermath of that, and it's told in interviews and like security recordings and recounts, which makes it like really interesting. And also I just love supporting Australian authors because Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. So I really, really like this. I think I ended up giving it 4.5 stars because, I don't know, it wasn't 5-star, but it was still really, really amazing. So the next book I read was my second time reading it this year and third time reading it overall, and that was A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. This is still my favourite Sarah J Maas book of all time. It is it is just so good. I loved it so much, and now I need A Court of Wings and Ruin, even though I know exactly what's going to happen. I just need it to happen all over again. I've already talked about A Court of Thorns and Roses like as a series, but this is amazing. 5 stars. It's been 5 stars every time, and this book like got me out of a 2-year-long reading slump back in November, so I am so thankful for it because I would never be in the book community now if I didn't pick this book up last year. So I love it so much, and I really recommend the series. 5 stars, just all the stars, the stars in life. I don't know, I just really love the series, and we're good. If you have read A Court of Thorns and Roses and you like don't know if you should continue it, please do, because I read it, I was like, oh, I'm not going to continue it. I waited a year, I was like, you know, I'm going to do it, and now it's one of my favourites. You just really need to read the second book. And finally, the last book I read was Finale by Stephanie Garber. I loved it so much. It was such an amazing book. I love the conclusion so much. I'm a bit mad at what happened to Jax because he was my favourite character, but apart from that, I really loved it. Some characters who I didn't like, I now like, and it was such a good ending, and I'm so sad this series is over, but I'm so glad that I've also finished it, and I love Caraval. So Caraval basically follows 2 sisters, Tala and Scarlet, as they go into this magical circus type thing called Caraval, and it is so good. It's such a magical series or trilogy, and I really recommend you pick it up. 5 stars, all the stars. It was amazing. So those were all the books that I read this month. I definitely could have done better if it wasn't for, again, the better, which I'm going to be talking about because, oh, it's not good. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will see you next time. Oh, and thank you so much for 100 subscribers. Wow, thank you. I know it's not a lot. I know it's not a lot in like the long run, but it means so much to me that 100 people like don't get annoyed at me, because, you know, a lot of people do. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!